I'm supposed to say some funny shit. What do you guys think about airline food? Are you guys... Hello? Let's just do it. I can't do it.
Okay, let's do it. Hi, Austin.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
Welcome to the fucking spontaneous podcast that came up out of nowhere.
Happy to be here.
This is
finally
fucking rad. Austin was hanging over at the apartment for a while. And we just kind of hung out, listened to records, and fucked around. And then we went and we're just chilling. And then we're laying around, and I still had a bunch of free time to myself. And I was like, dude, let's do a fucking podcast. And Austin's eyes lit up because Austin has been bugging me to get on the podcast for a long fucking time now.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a little too long, but we're finally here and we're finally doing it. And I'm stoked.
I'm so stoked. This is going to be really fucking rad. I'm really, really excited for this.
I like it.
All right.
We're getting stoked.
All
we're
right,
getting
man.
stoked.
So how was your day, bud?
All right. I like the small talk.
No, it's cool. It's cool. We'll jump into something else. Austin, what made you want to play drums? And you can't say Dave Grohl.
Well, this is a question that we got yesterday from that thing, and I didn't know how to answer it then either on that interview.
Oh, that interview we did because we're really famous?
Yeah, because we're famous. I don't know how I got started into playing drums. I mean, when I was a kid, when I was like 3 or 4, I remember vaguely actually taking a whole bunch of pots and pans, and I'd put like rags over them thinking that they'd like muffled the sound, and I'd be banging on pots and pans when I was a kid, probably when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Around the time I was probably I'd say like 6 or 7, my parents got me one of those little first act drum sets, and I just started banging on that a little more. And then ever since, I don't know, man, I just bang on pots and pans when I was a kid, and I kind of realized that, hey, man, that's an actual instrument. You might as well try it.
Did your parents want to buy you a drum set, or were they hesitant about it?
Because
it's fucking loud, and your parents, I mean, they're really cool now. They don't. I popped real hard on the filter there.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents were really cool, but like at the same time, as a kid, I mean, your parents were a little older.
They were.
So
yeah.
were they a little bit like,
they still are.
Fucking deal with it. They still are.
Yeah, I mean, when they first bought me, well, I started out, besides the pots and pans, with the first act kit. It was like a 4-piece kit, and that wasn't super loud, so they were cool with getting me that. It wasn't until I was about 10 years old that they actually bought me a full kit. I don't remember much hesitation from my dad, when I asked him to buy me it. He bought it as a birthday present when I turned 10.
Well, what kind of kit was it?
It was a first act kit, but it was at Sam's Club, so it went under a different name. It went under the name Borg.
Sam's Choice.
Choice. No, and I had no idea what a Borg drum set was, but it was like, I don't remember how much it was. It was like $200. So my dad was like, all right, we'll get it for you.
Did you look it up and then get bummed out when it was like not very good?
I looked it up, and at that time I couldn't tell much of a difference between a good drum set and a bad drum set, but I knew I hated first act because I knew it was immediately identified with the beginners. Yeah. By that time I was like, I'd been banging on this little 4-piece for so long, I'm like a master. So when I found out it was a first act drum set, I was a little bummed out, I'm not gonna lie. But what can you do, But no, there wasn't much hesitation from my parents. It was just basically, it was a brand new experience for everybody. Like setting it up, we didn't even know how to like put drum heads on and things like that. We didn't know how to set any of it up. And I remember we'd always get really, like, my dad would get really pissed off because he didn't know how to set up a damn drum set. I don't know. I don't come from like a musical background or anything. Mm-hmm. So nobody knew what to do with anything. And, but when it finally was set, we left it out, in like the living room. We left it out in the living room for probably like a month or 2 before I took it up to my room. And for that time, I'd just be practicing.
That's awesome.
And it would sound, obviously, when you first get started at something new, it sounded like shit.
Yeah.
So
see, I'm lucky in the respect that my father was a drummer.
Yeah.
So my dad bought a drum set really for himself just because he was like, oh, man, I want to fucking play drums again. Like, it's been a really long time since I played drums. And
yeah.
I think at the time he bought that drum set, he was probably like early 30s.
Oh, yeah.
About right about then.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a drum set and put it in the living room. And I remember banging like crazy on it. And he taught me how to play "Livin' After Midnight" by
Oh my
fucking Judas
God.
Priest, because it's literally just a boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, like simplest beat ever.
Yeah.
Just like keeping eighth notes on the fucking hi hat, like really simple shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really lucky in that respect because my dad was able to teach me how to tune drums and how to put heads on, and he knew all the brands and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So I was really lucky in that respect. Whereas you were just like, we're gonna figure it out.
And you know what though? I didn't learn how to tune drums until almost fairly recently. It was actually Matt Alderwood that properly showed me how to tune a drum.
When we did the Beach Cult sessions?
When we did the Beach Cult sessions, and he was like, no, this is how you actually tune a drum. It's the journey, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, I mean, I didn't take a drum lesson or anything like that, and it took me a little while until I realized that Vic Firth was a good drumstick, and, like, sound percussion was supposedly, in quotes, a bad drumstick.
He says that because he exclusively buys sound percussion
dude,
sticks.
I'm a Jew, man.
Hey, let's not get racial on this.
All right, man, let me put my yarmulke back on. Anyway, but it took a little time at that, and it was like the journey like that got me to where I'm like, it's weird because it's like I fucking sucked, and then after that, I didn't think I'd be playing drums for this long. You know what I mean? I thought it'd be something that I'd kind of put away because I was listening to Josh's episode, and he wanted to be a drummer first. I wanted to be a guitarist first.
Really? That's
know?
interesting.
Yeah.
I took a couple guitar lessons when I was really young, and then I put it away for a really long time. And then I picked up drums, and my dad bought that drum set.
Yeah.
And then I just started playing drums forever, and then I didn't pick up guitar or anything like that until way later. I picked up guitar because I had a band, like I said in that episode. My friends like left guitars over at my house, but I was definitely more interested in drums. Guitar was fucking hard, man. It hurt my fingers when I was a kid. I didn't want to fucking play Smoke on the Water either. I wanted to be a goddamn rock star. I didn't want to play this bullshit.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, we have like a complete parallel right there because I almost started out the same way. My dad, he wasn't musical at all, but he did have an Ibanez guitar that he just kind of kept in storage. And I remember I'd take it out and I'd play it a little bit, but it's always getting past like the calluses, like building your calluses and stuff like that. So I was like, it hurt my fingers the first few times. I'm like, I can't do this. So I kind of set it back away. I didn't start playing guitar until I was in like probably eighth grade or ninth grade. So
really?
Yeah, you know,
so,
I couldn't get past the pain.
About the same for me. But you know what my thing was? Like, what made you want to start playing drums though? Like, what interested you? What made you interested in like, this is what I want to do?
I don't know.
I
don't remember. I mean, it all.
Remember like, what made? Okay,
it's a blur.
Better question. What made you get serious about it?
Oh man, that's a good one. I mean, like, okay, I got this question. I'll kind of switch it up a little bit because it kind of makes sense to me. But I realized that I guess I wanted to be serious about drums. And more importantly, I wanted to be in a band when I was in 6th grade because it took a little time to realize that there's not a lot of drummers that just made it just because they were a drummer. A lot of those people are like teachers, like Tommy Igoe. He was a drum teacher. That's how people know him. I'm like, I'm not going to be a drum teacher.
I'm going to be a fucking rock star.
I want to be a fucking rock star. You know what I mean? So it was in 6th grade, and it was actually like my first, in quotes again, band, because we had a talent show, and I wanted to impress everybody. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right. So I get these two dudes together, and we get up there on the stage.
Reapers of the Century?
No.
No, not Reapers. Is it pre-Reapers or
pre-Reapers?
Okay.
Pre-Reapers. And No, wait, it was post.
Post? Okay.
Yeah, because we got the guitarist from Reapers of the Century, which was my old band, 5th grade band. We got our guitarist from Reapers of the Century back. We got a new guitarist. So it was 2 guitarists and a drummer. I didn't know what the fuck a bass was. So we got together, we played this talent show, and we played Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. And we covered that, and it was so dope, man. Like, it was my first time playing on stage in front of people, and I was freaking out, dude. I was so nervous because I'd never played in a band. So for some reason, I thought that I'd start playing, like, completely different things than would be in my head. But we played it, and it was super great. And at the end of the gig, we kind of sat back down, and the teachers called us back up because I like to think it was because we were really good, but in hindsight, there were only like 3 or 4 other people that went over there, so it was like, all right, kill some time. Yeah. So we went back up and we played Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, and we played Sweet Child O' Mine. And then it
Wait,
was
so
an encore, dude.
Did your guitar player play the fucking lead part for Sweet Child O' Mine? Really?
Oh, yeah. That's why we kept him around for a bit. Yeah. Dude, he was so cool, man. I was like, dude, you know how to play Sweet... His name was Zach Weinrich.
Zach Weinrich. That sounds
Zach
like a rock
Weinrich.
star name.
Yeah,
dude.
I was like, dude, I don't know what's going on with him now. But
So this is a really interesting parallel.
Yeah.
The thing that made me get serious about drums was the 7th grade talent show.
There we go, man.
7th grade talent show, because every talent show up until that point, there was this dude, all right? There was this fucking kid named Doug McIntosh. All right, it's about to get fucking real. I'm calling him out.
you, Doug.
I'm calling out fucking Doug McIntosh. Man, you clipped
I'm
it
so
so hard.
Fuck you, Doug.
Fucking here we go. So Doug McIntosh, sweet kid, really fucking good kid, sweet kid, like just great in every way. I remember I went on a fucking I went on a trip to Disney World with band, and he was part of band. And I remember him like doing sit-ups and push-ups and stuff, and he's like ripped, even though he was like 6th, 7th grade. And I remember like, man, fuck this kid. Like, he has all the positive attention. Mm-hmm. He has like abs. He's disciplined. Like, he's everything that I was not, right? Yeah. So he played the talent show. He did drums every single year, but he always did covers. And he would do covers to like a Christian band. And I don't fucking remember what the name of the band was. Like Third something. Or
man.
Third. I swear to God it was something Third.
I think I got something. Third. I don't know what it is.
Not Third Eye Blind.
Third Star?
Maybe?
I'm not sure.
Oh, no. You know what? It was Lone Star. He did a Lone Star song. And then, but he also did like a Christian band. I swear that was like a Third something. A 3 something.
Okay.
So, oh man, I turn my mic. It keeps getting loud and quiet, loud and quiet, loud and quiet. It's on my end. All right, so yeah, sorry, some technical difficulties there. I'm not gonna cut that though. So fucking Doug played every single year, and it sucked. I never thought he was that good.
Yeah,
like, but I mean, fucking no one was, right? We were in 7th grade. Like, it's nothing against him. He's definitely not listening to this.
Yeah,
but it was nothing against him. It's just I played drums as a hobby for fun at that time. I did not take it seriously. But even me taking it seriously was like, I'm definitely better than him.
Yeah.
Definitely better than him.
Wow.
I'm sick of everybody getting I'm sick of him getting all the attention when I'm totally better than him.
Was it because he played covers, or was he just naturally not good?
And it wasn't even that he wasn't good. It was all like, you know, boom, cat beats, and then he would do one like crazy, like fast, and then hit and then go back, right? So everyone freaked out about that shit.
Yeah.
So one year I had enough.
Oh,
I was
God.
done with the Doug show. I was done. So
the Doug show.
I took my drum set in, and it was like, it was such overkill because the first time I think I did it twice.
What was your set?
So I had a CB is what it was, but I had really nice heads on it. It wasn't a very good drum set, but it had really nice heads.
Yeah.
Really good cymbals and stuff like that, or good enough.
Yeah.
But the thing was, I brought in all of the drums that I had.
Oh my God, I used to do that too.
I was bringing in all the artillery, dude. Like, I was not fucking around. So I had, obviously, snare, 2 toms, floor tom. I think I had 2 floor toms.
Yeah.
And I had 2 of those like
the roto toms?
I had 2 roto toms too.
I wanted roto toms for the longest time, dude.
I had 2 roto toms too. Such overkill,
man.
right?
Yes.
So here's the thing. I think the talent show, the last talent show that he played, the one that really pushed me over the edge, he used light up drumsticks. I was like, fuck you with your fucking hacky, like, light up drumsticks, man.
This guy's a poser.
So this time I came in straight up. This time I came in and I was like, nah, I'm going to be natural. No gimmicks. And you know what? I'm going to do a fucking solo.
Yo, all right.
Fuck this. I'm going to do a fucking, man, see, now you're just fuck it. Fuck it. It's clipping. I don't give a fuck.
Fuck it.
So I brought in all the artillery I had. I did a drum solo for probably about 2 to 3 minutes. I think was about the amount of time that we were going to be doing the talent show for.
Yeah.
And I fucking destroyed it. And that was really the first time that a whole crowd of people applauded me.
Yeah.
It was also the first time I wore skinny jeans in public.
Oh my gosh. What the fuck?
I remember the entire fucking school was cheering me on, and it was such a glorious moment for me. And then, so I left to go back to class. And because I performed, I got to go back to class first because everybody else had to, get out, like, together, right? Yeah. So I go back into the classroom.
We get into my favorite part, right?
Mr. Bowman's class.
Okay.
Mr. Bowman's 7th grade science class was where I went back to.
Okay.
Like I sat down and I was just like smiling, waiting.
Oh God! Oh God!
I was waiting for the fucking applause to hit me, right?
So I've known Matt for a nice amount of time, but I've never heard this story. So I'm like on the edge of my seat. What'd you do at Mr. Bowman's class?
So I'm sitting in Mr. Bowman's class and I'm just like relaxing, just like smiling, just like he wasn't fucking there. He was just like, so yeah, play the talent show. Just like making small. He doesn't fucking give a shit. He was like 7 years old, like almost to retirement. He doesn't fucking care what I think.
Yeah.
So he's just like making small talk. And then I hear the crowd coming right.
Oh man!
And I get tackled out of my seat by people like freaking out, being so stoked over it. Like the same people who were stoked about Doug McIntosh were now all over me, right?
Yo,
so stoked.
Yes.
And then I look over. Over at Doug.
No,
there's like one person talking to Doug.
Oh.
And I remember, and I didn't feel bad at all. I was just like. It was like that moment in fucking Conan where he's just like, destroy your enemies. See the women weep before you. Like whatever the fuck the line is from Conan the Barbarian. And I was just like, yes, fuck you, Doug. I did it. I beat you.
No.
So what got me into drums was spite and jealousy.
What the fuck?
Fuck, I forgot about that story. I forgot about the story completely until I read what you wrote in that interview, and you said like talent show, and I was like, "Fuck! I should have said that. That should have been the story."
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
Doug
that
McIntosh.
story, dude. Oh,
and you know what's worse about Doug McIntosh? His fucking cunty mom wouldn't rent me PG-13 movies at the video store.
What?
Like, I was like 12 or 13, and I would go to Movie Gallery. She worked at Movie Gallery at Germantown, right?
Yeah.
Where I grew up in Ohio. Mm-hmm. And his mom, every time I would go there, I would. So they had this awesome deal where you could get like it's like if you got like 10 VHSs, they were like $1 each. So I'd save up my allowance and I'd ride my bike up to Movie Gallery and get a fucking bag full of VHSs.
Good deal.
But when fucking she was working there, no can do, sir. It was GPG only, no PG-13. One time I had to call my fucking mom, get my mom on the phone so that she would talk to the fucking bitchy lady at Movie Gallery and tell her, it's okay for him to rent or to buy fucking XXX State of the Union.
She sounds like a bitch, dude.
It was awful. And like they were like real Christian, like nice people. They weren't bad people.
Yeah.
But I have so much resentment for that family.
Oh yeah,
those two things.
Doug and his mom.
Doug and his fucking mom wouldn't let me rent fucking PG-13 videotapes.
Oh well, he still got that one guy. Doug still got that one fuck, dude.
I've got to be the only. I can't see. There's so many memories like. It goes to show you what really mattered in your life. Because there's friendships that I've had who have evaporated from my brain. Mm-hmm. Like people who actually meant something to me at one time. Like their memories are gone or I just have no memory of their names and stuff like that. But for some reason, Doug McIntosh will never leave my brain. Like it really shows you how much it fucking meant. Like
that's
I was done.
You know?
I was fucking done with his bullshit.
You're done with him. Let's check him out on Facebook after this.
Okay, we totally will. He's probably like gorgeous with a crazy 8-pack and like a model wife. And
probably doesn't even remember the talent show.
Probably a billionaire. She owns Movie Gallery.
I know, right? Oh, dude, that's actually a really good story. I like I never had that happen to me. There was never like a person that I was like, "Fuck you, I gotta top it." But it was more like this. It was more like the people, I guess, because I played a bunch of talent shows, and I don't want to say that as like a fucking dick, but like 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade.
People, who the fuck does this guy think he is? This
Come on, man.
Piece of shit.
Come on, man.
It's like the marquee.
I've done a bunch of talent shows. I got a few under my belt, but like it was everything at the talent show. Being me, the talent show aficionado, is they'd always do like either a shitty dance or there'd be people that walk up and try to lip sync over a song or try to sing it themselves if they were ballsy. But even in things like 7th grade and 8th grade was a crazy talent show. But 7th grade, a friend and I played Sugar We're Going Down. 8th grade, I had to practically beg people to play with me because I didn't want to go up there by myself. I had this weird stage fright.
Yeah.
And I had to practically beg people to play with me. And I got these two people. I got Ryan Damonson is what he's known by now. He played in my old, the Reapers of the Century from 5th grade. And I got this other chick, Ashley. We walk up and we did a cover of Cool Thing by Sonic Youth in 8th grade.
Nice. Fuck it. That's so hip, dude.
Yeah, I know.
And
you
just tripping over pussy at that point for playing that song?
Dude, you know what? on the contrary, I was actually about to get kicked the fuck out.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
So check this out. It was our last day of school. It was like last day of 8th grade. We were about to make the transition into high school, and we had a talent show. So we had the whole school come in, and I just remember I was backstage, and
In the green room.
and I was just hanging out with Ashley, the girl who was singing, and Ryan, and we were just freaking out. We were like, dude, like, this is it. You know, we were one of the last acts up. I think we were the last act up because I had built my rapport from last year when we played it before. All right, dude, I get I'm boring you, but like...
No. I'm pulling up something. I'm totally listening to you.
I get it. No, I'm kidding. But
Kids
like...
unprepared.
But like, yeah, so from 7th grade, they were like, you're cool, so you get to end the 8th grade show. I'm like, all right, cool. So we went up there, and we played Cool Thing by Sonic Youth, and at the very end, I saw one too many Nirvana videos because we, unscripted, I took my drum set, and I fucking threw the ride cymbal across the fucking across the gym where we were doing it. And I took my drum set and I threw it on the ground, and I took my seat and I chucked it. Ryan's chilling on the ground, and he's just like playing guitar on the ground, and I'm like destroying my shit, this fucking shitty Borg drum set. And everybody's freaking out. Like, they were in 8th grade. They were like honestly scared. And I know that because people walked up to me and said, hey, you were freaking out for a second. I didn't know what to do. And I was just like, all right. A few more people told me that, so I kind of figured, oh, like, there were quite a few people that didn't like that. And so then the dean walks up to me at the end of the show, and she was all like...
the dean?
The
was
dean.
This like a private school?
No, they actually... This was Bogle Junior High.
I thought deans were like a private school thing for some reason.
I don't know. You'd think that, right? That's what I thought, too, until she walked up to me, and she was all like, hey... I wasn't expecting that at all, and none of the students here were expecting that. And she said something shitty to me. She was all like, I hope, 9th grade treats you better, or some weird shit like that.
As if you were like pissed off.
As if I was like, yeah, fuck this. And so I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I didn't care at the time, and I still don't. But after that, I was about to take my whole drum set back to my dad's truck. And the band teacher who said she was going to help me reel it all back to the truck, she was all of a sudden like, no, I'm not going to help you. I was like, shit, dude. I was like, I didn't know this was such a commotion. But I guess it was. So other than that, I was like, fuck this shit, dude.
So what I was so rudely doing while you were talking was I was pulling up. This is another one of those memories that just completely left me. I would have died. I would have left this earth without divulging this memory.
I'm glad that you're sharing this with me.
It's one of the talent shows. I'm not sure if it was the one that I played or not.
Yeah.
See, I don't know about your talent shows, but at mine you had to go during the day. When I went in junior high, when I went to high school in Arizona, it was an after school thing.
Oh no, not at mine. At mine they
too.
Pulled you in as an assembly.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we went, and I remember 3 to 4 people all singing the same song. Oh, yeah. They all performed the same fucking song. And one of them sang it with their mother. Which is just like, I was sitting there, I was sitting here just like, I got this shit down. If this bitch is going up with her mom, I totally got this.
Come on now.
So the song was by Martina McBride.
Oh, God.
I remember her. There's a song called Concrete Angel.
Oh, man. I know you're going to play it.
And it goes like this. I'm going to play it over the mic because I'm going to share this memory with everybody. Do you remember this song?
I remember this song. I remember during the auditions, people would be singing this. Yep, that's it. That's it. God. My God, man.
I can't believe it. It's like I could not believe I remember the name of that fucking song. Yeah. I just remember them saying it like 3 or 4 times. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the fucking, and here's
too much
Jennifer with her mother playing Concrete Angel, and everyone's just like, oh, okay,
here we go. 4th time again.
Like, by the 4th time, we were all singing along. Everyone knew the words. No, I don't fucking shit.
In ours, oh man, in 6th grade, these girls came up and they covered Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. They did it a cappella. So I didn't even.
Really?
And at that time, I had never heard the song. So I was like, what are they doing? I didn't know what a cappella was. I was like, they're
Really?
just singing to no music. I was like, all right. And then everything after that, they covered The Climb by Miley Cyrus. That's the only one that sticks out. It's the climb. That whole weird fucking song.
Don't know that song. I didn't spend too much time with Miley Cyrus.
Oh, dude.
But
you
you're
didn't
a
have
tad
Hannah
bit
Montana?
younger than me.
A little bit, yeah.
When Hannah Montana came out, I mean, we were pretty much the same age. Neither of us should have been watching it, though.
True
I don't
that.
think either of us were.
Yeah, I never really. I mean,
I dated a girl.
yeah.
I dated a girl during when Hannah Montana was going on. I was probably like 15.
Okay.
And 14. Well, more like 13 or 14.
Oh, for sure.
And this girl was dating. Was obsessed with the Disney Channel. I don't know what it is, but this is the okay. So the girlfriend that I've had now, who I've had for a very long time now, I think she's the only serious relationship that I've ever been in where the girl was not obsessed with Disney. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what kind of brainwash shit they've got going on with girls and Disney. But I'm not talking about. I wasn't dating these like preppy princess girls. Like these were like girls who were a little bit more on the alternative. They were still, a little bit out there. Yeah. But even they were like, buy me Disney. Shit. Like, I don't know what that is.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
But where the fuck was I going with this? But I remember watching some of it. It would be on the Disney Channel because all she fucking watched was the Disney Channel. And I was like, dude, you're 14. Like, why are you still watching the Disney Channel? But I remember Hannah Montana always being on, and Phil of the Future.
Phil of the Future, dude. Yes.
All of that shit. Wizards of Waverly Place.
Wasn't super into that one, but I do really remember that.
Sweet Love of Zach and Cody.
That was.
I remember
one.
all those shows
like
being
that.
on. I would have never known about those shows had I not like hung out at her house all the time because it was the best thing ever. Because her parents, she lived literally across the street from me.
Yeah.
And or behind me, and like her parents were gone. Her mom was gone until like fucking 6:30.
That's cool.
It was the best.
That's BA,
We'd go over and hang out and
Badass.
watch fucking Hannah Montana and
Dude,
shit. And I
sounds
pretend
like a
that
good
I
night.
cared. Yeah, it was really nice. So at what point what was the first time you really like, what made you want to start playing guitar? Was that something you just fucked around with until you got good, or?
That was, when my first instrument, I wanted to play guitar first, and I wasn't going to let that go. I was like, I'm not going to just live my life without playing guitar. So after I played drums for a bit, in 8th grade, I talked to Ryan, who we played Cool Thing by Sonic Youth. Yep. And I was like, hey, can you just teach me a little bit here and there of guitar? I knew this Local H song called Bound for the Floor. And I was all like, hey, I want to learn this song. Can you just show me how to play it? That one was a little too hard at the time. It was kind of weird. But he showed me a couple other songs, and I was like, all right, I'll go for it. And so just slowly but surely just lent me his guitar for a few months. And I just picked it up, started playing it, and I really went hard at it too. So that's it, man. I mean, I practiced my ass off at that thing, and I finally can say, all right, I play guitar now. Like you it's
play
great.
Guitar. Yeah,
finally.
Well, what's interesting to me is that I started playing guitar first, and then when I discovered bass, I really fucking got obsessed with it, and I never really gave a shit about guitar anymore after that. But.
I feel like that's almost like a rare thing among the people that I see, because so many people are into guitars. You can find a guitar player for a dime a dozen, but it's a little harder to actually find a bass player that doesn't play the parallel of what the guitar is playing. You know what I mean?
I know. I don't know what it was about bass. I think I think a lot of it has to do with when I was a kid, my dad like showing me Steve Harris of Iron Maiden, and my dad kind of being like showing me Flea, and all that kind of shit. And my dad always I think it probably comes down to him. My dad always harped on the bass. He was always telling me like the bass is the most like underrated instrument. It's the instrument that no one pays attention to. And he drilled into my head like, and no one wants to be a fucking bass player. So if you want to be in a band, you should get into bass. And that's not the main reason that I got into it. Yeah. But I think that always just all of these things about bass being. My dad was not a bass player. My dad couldn't play guitar at all. Yeah. But he always drilled that into my head. And I think my dad always had this weird affinity for bass players, just like the rhythm section. Yeah. So it's just later on in life, I just discovered bass. And I remember this kid left his bass over at my house once and told me that I would never be able to play it. And I was like, nah, I can totally fucking play it. And I picked it up. Yeah, he was a fucking dick. Yeah. And then I picked it up, and I was like, and I couldn't play it. I was like, how the fuck do you play this? And there's no way I'll ever be able to play this. So then I just believed that I'd never be able to play it. And that same fucking dick try to convince me that no drummers ever became guitar players.
Oh, wow. All right.
And for some reason, I think at that time I looked up to him because he was an older kid and he was taking me under his wing. So I just kind of wanted to trust everything as gospel.
Yeah.
For some reason, like Dave Grohl didn't come to mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why he wasn't the immediate first thing that I thought of.
I know. Yeah.
But he was just one of those people who he always wanted to make you feel less than him. I mean, I don't know how he grew up, or I don't know how because we stopped talking after like 15.
Oh yeah, I get that.
But he was a big part of growing up for me, and I think after he was a compulsive liar, giant compulsive liar. Like created these crazy illustrative stories.
Really?
Like he was a brilliant writer, and he was a really intelligent dude.
Yeah.
And he used that to his benefit to lie to fucking younger people.
Yeah.
So I remember looking up to him and him telling me all that shit all the time, just trying to like put me down all the time, just trying to make me feel less than him. Some people just need that. They need, especially as a kid, you know. He was like this awkward, like chubby kid, you know. Obviously, he wanted to make people feel less than him, but he had so much charisma that you immediately just wanted to fall under him and kind of look up to him. And
it was easy to trust him. It probably was way easy to trust him.
Yeah,
because everything he said, it probably sounded way rehearsed and like I know what I'm talking about. It
sounded really awesome. Yeah, he was real well spoken and intelligent. You know. I don't know. There's been a lot of people like that in my life who are like real well spoken, real intelligent, real charismatic, and I immediately just want to hang out with them or be around them, and then later on I find out they're just full of shit.
You know what though? That guy, looking back, you can kind of tell that guy was kind of full of shit.
Oh, I
love those people though. Like I love the people that say like you can't do this. There's never been a drummer that played guitar. That makes me want to say, hi, I want to play guitar.
Exactly.
There's shit like that I'm just like, I fucking dig this. There was a bass player that I jammed with in 8th grade, and it all goes back to like 8th or 7th grade because that's when I was really starting to find out what a band was. It was back then that I was hanging out with this bass player, and he said to me, he probably doesn't remember, and I've talked to him a little bit now. He's way cooler now, but back then he said to me, he was like, because we would jam here and there, he'd say, hey, I just want to remind you, and I'd be like, oh, fuck. I just want to remind you that you're never going to be as good a drummer as I am a bass player. And I was like, how the fuck do you compare the two?
Fuck,
I was like,
dude?
You can't compare the two.
What a dick.
I was like, all right, you're a fucking dick.
Kids are savage.
I know. They don't know what they don't know what they're saying.
They don't really understand empathy yet. So
I
they're
know.
just these little fucking savages.
You'll never be as good a drummer as I am a bass player. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Was he a bass player?
He was really good. Yeah, I'll give it that. But like,
was
I
he
don't
right?
know, man. Was he right? I don't know, man. I mean, I know
better drummer now than he was a bass player then.
I mean, I'd like
maybe
to
these
think
are
I
things
was
you should have
then.
considered before bringing this up and embarrassing yourself.
I know, right?
I
Fuck.
think he was. What was his name?
I got to go back to the pots and pans. I'm not gonna tell his name. His name was Austin. It had my name in it.
Fuck.
Austin.
Yeah, Austin might be right. You should maybe consult with that before you start making claims.
I'm sorry. I quit Phantom Party. If anybody's a good drummer, no, I'm just kidding. No, but like I was just like, even at 8th grade, I was like taken back. I was like, hold on a second. I was like, the fuck is that? He played like Metallica and shit like that all the time. And I was like, dude, I can't play For Whom the Bell Tolls. Like, I could play it on drums. I just don't want to. It's boring.
You know, the two things that I learned on bass that were the real panty droppers?
Oh,
the things that
man.
really like, this is what I'm going to learn just so that I can impress people with them.
What? Was it Primus? I know Primus drops a lot of panties.
Into Primus. Yeah, I didn't start getting into Primus until way later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm talking like when I got into Primus, I was in Phantom Party.
Wait, when did you start playing bass?
I started playing
age?
bass when I was 16.
Oh, okay, cool.
16, 17 -ish.
For sure.
Started playing it for real when I was like 18. Like 7. Like 17. 17 is
17-ish?
when I drew it when I joined Drive Through Thursday.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
yeah, 17. But the two things that I would always learn was like anything by Red Hot Chili Peppers was an immediate. People just thought you were awesome, and not all of that shit was that hard. It's just flashy.
Yeah.
Some of it's really fucking hard, but I still can't figure some of that shit out. But that was a big one. If you played like Can't Stop. Bum, 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 everyone knows that fucking bass part. That's the immediate thing you would learn.
Yeah.
I guess one of the things would be Schism by Tool. That's another one.
Oh, that was
like,
one too. Yeah, I know that
for
one.
sure, Schism. But the other thing was fucking Anti-Flag. And
really?
Chris number 2, he is my favorite bass player of all time. And maybe him and like Steve Harris. But he's so fucking fast. And his picking is so fast and aggressive and in your face. But it's not as hard as some of the shit in Rancid.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like Maxwell Murder, I remember learning the verses for, but I could not figure out the bass solo at all. It's not as hard as that. But it's still, like, throughout all of the verses and the choruses, he's just all over the fretboard. So I remember learning, like, Project for a New American Century, and I still warm up with that all the fucking time. So that was a big one. No Effects here and there, too. No Effects had some pretty cool, some bangers here and there,
that's
too.
cool. I like Seeing Double at the Triple Rock.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
That was the first No Effects song I ever heard.
It's a good one. Mine was... it was Leaving Jesus Land.
Really?
Same album, different
is
song.
Deep cut.
Deep cut.
Deep cut. All right.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm moving out of Jesus Land.
I know.
That's a fucking great song,
I was
dude.
super into that. And then my old band, my first real band was called Shotgun Collar. We changed our name to Big Treat. But
I have to take credit for being the only person who ever got what the name was a reference to.
yeah, what's the name of reference? Oh yeah, the Saw Shotgun
3.
Collar.
Saw
yeah,
3,
I thought you meant Big Treat. I was like Big Treat.
When you first told me about Big Treat, I always thought you were saying Big Tree.
Big Tree.
And I was like, what do you want to name after your band after? What about that Big Tree over there?
That Big Tree. And it's funny because we covered Leaving Jesus Land by NoFX when we didn't have any other songs, and we covered My Vagina off Pump Up the Volume or whatever, Valium or
how's that go? I don't remember how that song goes.
My Vagina, that one. But man, that one's weird. The Shotgun Collar was actually
you
told
covered fucking Luis.
Oh my god. Shotgun Collar had a weird history. We were told by Joe Queer that we sucked, and so he took.
Did he let you use his amp?
Even better, he took so much pity on us. He sent us an amp that he just didn't use. He just put it away. He asked,
paid for shipping and sent it to you.
I guess so, because he asked our guitarist's dad for the address, and then 3 weeks later, he's just, yo, I got this new amp head. What the fuck do I do? It's from Joe Queer. I was like, all right. Thanks.
That's ridiculous.
I
Did
know.
he give you any constructive criticism, or did he just say you suck?
He really didn't. I mean, he was all like...
But the Queers suck.
Yeah,
so
I mean...
maybe it was kind of like an in thing. You suck as bad as the Queers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Even if I thought a band sucked, I wouldn't give them my shit. You know what I mean?
No.
So it's like,
I would keep my shit away from them.
Yeah, it's like...
Don't get your suck on my shit.
It's like, maybe we're better than,
Yeah.
Maybe you believe in us a little more than we thought.
Maybe he saw something in you.
Yeah.
But at that time, were you playing this golden single of This Song Is a Song?
Yes, we were playing This Song Is a Song. Nobody knows what that is. We never made a recording of it, but we wrote a song about writing a song, and so This Song Is a Song was about that. I haven't even seen the other dudes in the band, Chaz and Connor. We started a band after the semester review ended, before I joined Phantom Party. And then I just haven't seen them since. So, but Shotgun Collar was definitely the best thing we all did together, and it wasn't
better than Big
that
Tree?
good at it. It's the same thing. We just changed the name.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. No new direction.
And
just new name.
Weren't you singing for one of those?
I sang in the... Oh, yeah. I hung out with Connor, who sang in Big Treat. We made a band called Honey, I'm Home.
There you go. That's
one was the band that segued from my old band Semester Review into Phantom Party. So Josh actually hit me up to jam with Phantom Party, and I was still debating it because I was like, well, I like this guitar and singing thing I got going on. I'm not completely sure if I want to play drums again. And then I look back and I'm like, all right, playing drums is actually really fun.
So that's it's actually a perfect segue, because I was just thinking about what was because when Josh first hit me up about joining Phantom Party or starting Phantom Party, after years of me bugging
starting
shit
Flower Party
out of him. Yeah. When it started, well, at the time it was called Zephyr.
Zephyr.
And I just didn't want it as a name. I see the thing that my biggest thing in Phantom Party is that I'm always the person who pushes back. Like any idea that Josh or Austin have, like okay, let's be fair. Usually I'm down.
Usually you are down,
but
yes.
I'm probably the most confrontational member of the band. As far as like, I don't like settle, and I don't like to like Josh said, like leave well enough alone. Like I don't like to do that.
You and Josh just have an interesting dichotomy.
Yeah.
You know, with me, I don't really care that
Yeah,
much.
that's true.
It's just that when you and Josh get together, it's easy for things to. You guys have completely different minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Which it's good. You know, I like that. It's
but
productive.
we're still best friends, which is cool.
Yeah.
We managed to somehow have completely different minds, completely
completely
minds.
different.
But musically, we jive together really well.
Yeah.
And I can hang out with that dude for fucking ever and not really get sick. As long as he's like, just always like, just cool. You know,
Just cool.
all the time.
Yeah.
As long as there's no like pressure on him.
Yeah. There are times where it's really, you know,
it can
it's
be
too chill sometimes.
It can be. I love Josh with all of my heart.
Good dude.
I always will.
Mhm.
No matter what little things we'll get into every once in a while. But it's never like band ending shit. It's never anything like that. There's never been a point of walking away.
Yeah.
It's always been. So we've never even yelled at each other. It's always just been very like. Instead of yelling at each other, we'll have these long, like 2-hour conversations that Austin will like chime into every once in a while.
Yeah. It's never mad at each other. It's just the situations that happen.
It's always just analyzing the situation and going over everything because, which is good though. I think we've gotten good things out of that. But I just anyway. So
what were you going to say?
What I was going to say was when we first started the band. Josh wanted. Austin's like, get the fuck back on track. Talking about me again.
Like, I want to hear
why
what
are you talking about me? So he's like, I was like, we were looking for drummers. We wanted to find a drummer for the band, and I was just like, well, what about the drummer for? Because I didn't know you yet.
Yeah.
I was like, what about the drummer for Semester Review? Is that not a viable option? And he's like, oh, he's in a band now called Honey I'm Home. Immediately, I was like, I don't like the name of that band.
Honey I'm Home.
And I think that's what I wanted to that was my original point.
Yeah.
Was that I always have like the things that I'm really passionate about, I'm really fucking passionate about. I can talk about forever. But the things that I don't like, I'm the first person to vocalize like I don't like that.
He really is, dude.
Which is what,
yes, it is so hard sometimes to express what I like around Matt.
But the thing is, like, I love shit so much. But I just like I need to work. I need to work on being able to just not say shit and like wait for Alicia to come home, and then her and I can bitch about stuff. But anyway.
No, like oh my god, no. Honey I'm Home. I actually was not super into the name either. Honey I'm Home is a weird section. Nobody in my band has ever asked me about Honey I'm Home. It's a weird section where. I was in a band with Josh, the singer, before, and we were called the Semester Review, and we played pop punk for about 3 years or so. After that, I joined Honey I'm Home. Or I formed Honey I'm Home, I guess. I wanted to play guitar and I wanted to sing. So I got Chaz, who played in Big Treat, and I asked him to learn the drums. And I said, learn the drums. Just learn the drums. I got Connor, who played guitar also and sang in Big Treat. We never had a bassist. And play second guitar, Connor. So he played second guitar, and we all formed together. We had another dude named John that played bass here and there, but he, yeah. But other than that, we played one show, and we kind of stopped after that. It was one of those.
Right?
It was at the Underground, yeah, and it was in March.
Of
a couple years ago.
Then, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Actually, I think it was March 13th. So we'll be 2 years later in Colorado. Right? Or
because
there.
Josh sent me the songs in March, and then you joined the band in April.
Yeah. So there we go.
We put out the EP in May.
Yeah. Honey, I'm Home, man. We played the Underground. We played one show. It wasn't that great because my voice sucks. It
doesn't suck.
I mean,
your
like,
voice sucks.
And
it's very different, but I don't think it sucks.
I was a fucking asshole though. Like, that's
you?
the thing. Like, Honey, I'm Home it was like a catharsis. It was very cathartic. It was like that point where I had my first girlfriend that I was actually like, I knew, like, I was like, this is fucking great. You know what I mean? Like, it was great. And when we broke up, I didn't know what to do. Like, I was freaking out. When we broke up, it was literally pouring rain outside, like the freaking movies. And I was like, shit, I don't know what to do. So I went home. And I was a fucking dick, dude. I wrote a nice amount of songs. I formed a band because of it. We played one show, and I even invited her to the show. And I said, yo, come see us play. She wasn't, because she was in California with her new boyfriend. And so I wrote another song about it.
Called California.
And then after that one show that we played, I was done. I was like, all right, I got everything I needed to say out. We played to no joke, probably 6 people.
Yeah.
Good enough because I don't want that following me anywhere. And then that's it. And then after that, once Josh hit me up, we would have played more shows, but once Josh hit me up for Phantom Party, I was like, all right, I'll temp as a drummer.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing is because we struck out. We tried to get a drummer, and it didn't work. He was more of a novice than we needed. We needed someone who could keep up with us. We didn't want someone who we had to show how to play drums.
Yeah.
So I remember you just like, okay, he's gonna stick around with us until we find another drummer.
Yeah.
And then when was it that it concreted with you that you were gonna stick around?
That first practice. That first practice was because it's so weird that Josh would ask me to play drums for them because he knows that I hit kind of hard, a little harder than surf music would entail. I kind of thought it'd be nice to sneak it past him, how hard that I'm actually hitting him. Like, I'm not really going to play that. I could definitely play it if you want me to, yeah, but I'm going to see if I can at least try to beef it up a little bit. But if you want me to play it, I'll play it, whatever. So right when you came over and right when Josh came over, we had another guitarist at the time, but he didn't show up. It was just Josh and Matt. They both came over and we jammed and we played our first song together. I think it was Catholic School. And that song on the demo is totally different than you hear actually.
Which you can hear on the Archives cassette, available in limited quantities at our shows. Anyway.
I was like waiting for you to say that. In all honesty, I was like, he's gonna
the
say
original demos are on a cassette we just put out. Anyway.
Yeah, but on that original demo on the cassette is literally the copy of Catholic School that Josh sent me when he wanted to start me into Phantom Party. And if you get that cassette, if you have a cassette player, so if you listen to the cassette and if you hear Catholic School, you'll hear that it's very, very slow and it's mellow and it's a totally different vibe. So right after we played Catholic School, it was played pretty hard. And I think what really let me stay, what really kept me to stay there is Matt looked over. He looked up from his bass and he stared over and he was stoked. He was like a fucking puppy dog. And he said, that's how the songs are supposed to be played. He screamed it almost like he could scream it from the fucking rooftops. And at that point I was like, all right, I snuck that past him. I think this will be okay. Maybe this is a different direction than the traditional surf music. And there's still songs that are really soft. Like Stellar isn't as, punk, I guess. And, there's songs like Elvis that you don't really hit a climax until the very end. But there's things like that where...
Mermaid is a great example of a really fucking kind of a somber song.
Yeah, and it really just shows, it shows how... it shows how diverse the band is, but in a sense, it's also I'm really lucky to be in it because all the other bands, it was almost like the same things, you know what I mean? Like you play in the semester review, you're basically playing pop punk for 3 years. You play in Honey, I'm Home. All of that stuff sounded like the Get Up Kids and Brand New. Nothing wrong with that, but there's songs that Josh writes where I'm like, all right, this is completely different than Catholic School. This is completely different than Elvis. Tunnel of Love, that's completely different than the rest of our album. There's 100 Skeletons. It's like stuff like that where it's just like you don't know what's going to happen, and that keeps me on the edge of my seat.
And I'm stoked for that because there were times where you wavered, right?
Yeah.
There were definitely times within the band where we were worried. There's times where we were like, I really hope like nothing goes wrong with Austin. Like, because there was one time in the very beginning. Tell the story. What happened? Tell the story after our first show when you bailed. Do you remember that?
I don't. Remind me and I'll tell the story of it.
You gotta remember. Okay, so after our first show, there was that moment where you like left the band, or we thought you left the band. And then went to California.
Oh, that's... Okay, that one is actually...
Because that was scary. Because I was like, man, what the fuck? Like, we just met this dude.
All right, yeah, I'll tell you the story of that.
I wasn't involved in that, though. So
no worries.
Because, like, I didn't know, like... All I heard was Josh's side of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you mine.
It was all miscommunication or something? Yeah, tell
me. And I remember all of you calling me, and I felt really appreciated that you guys would call and check up on me. But it was such a misunderstanding. We played a show once, and I don't even think it was after the show because I can tell you straight up. I was hanging out with my friend Andrew, and Andrew and I were just hanging out, and I was telling him about the ex-girlfriend, the Honey, I'm Home girl that I started. I'm such a fucking asshole when I say that. Started the band because of.
Why is he an asshole? You started the band.
And
started another band after another ex, which was awesome, which we are absolutely going to talk about in this podcast.
Oh, that wasn't after
Eventually.
an ex, but I do
wasn't?
like no,
It
but
kinda was.
No,
Oh, it wasn't. No,
it was good timing. It was weird timing, but I'll say that a little later. Yeah, I've done a few things, but yeah, I mean the thing that Matt's talking about right now is Andrew and I, great dude, Drew and Coops, check it out, SoundCloud. We were hanging out, and this Honey I'm Home chick. I think I was still in high school or starting college or something. I was still hung up on her so bad, and she invited me out as friends, and we hung out one night, and she ranted and raved about her boyfriend at the time, or her ex-boyfriend, or whatever. And at that point, I was like, wow, I mean, you only really hit me up when something goes wrong, you know what I mean? And I'm stupid enough to actually go and hang out with you and listen to your bitching and bullshit. And it's like, it's not a huge deal, but I kind of wanted to be there when you have good times too. So things like that. And plus, it's so weird to be friends with an ex. You know, it takes a lot of time, and I wasn't.
It has to be the right relationship.
Yeah,
I've had. There's exes who I'm still friends with on Facebook who will hit me up every once in a while, and we'll have casual conversations.
Yeah.
It has to be the right exes. From what I've discovered, it can't be with an ex who was a ginormous part of your life, or like a really long-term relationship.
Yeah.
I think the only girl that I'm still friends with, who I was like actually like I really had legit feelings for. I think the reason that ended up being okay was because I had no choice but to move away from her.
Yeah.
I moved to Arizona right when we got entangled. And then we just kind of had a long distance relationship for a while, and
nice,
that kind of petered out naturally. And then we just remained friends ever since. Like it has to be
Things
organic.
like that.
It can't be like I can't let go of you. We're gonna be friends forever. That shit does not fucking work.
Does
Do
not
not
work.
do that.
No, it does not work. But yeah. So I was sick of that, and that makes sense too that you brought it up, because I was in a relationship with her for a nice amount of time, at least the longest that I've been in with anybody, which still isn't in the long term super long. 6 months isn't a long time, but compared to other things where it lasted like a month or two, I was like 6 months is quite a while. But I was still hung up on her, and she asked me one day, because I was so good at English. My English class, I killed it. I don't know how, I don't know what, because I didn't try in that class or any other class, but somehow my writing was good, I guess. And she hit me up with that, and she was like, hey, I need help writing an essay. I'll pay you $70 if you write this essay for me. It's due tomorrow. And I was like, all right, yeah, sure, I'll write this essay for you. And I write the essay. I don't remember what it was on. I think it was about the different religions and shit like that. So I had to basically learn about religions and everything and write the essay and make sure it's coherent and make sure it makes sense in 12 hours. So I was like, all right, here goes nothing. And I did it, and I sent it to her. I sent her a few drafts, and she picked one of them. I was like, all right, great. Paid me, and then she took so long to get me this $70 that I was like, all right, like, give me this money. One day comes, and she gives me $70. And this is where Josh comes into play too. And this is where it starts to get entangled with this Phantom Party stuff, because I was such an asshole. And I wasn't good at working with time. I wasn't good at that at all, you know. Time management was not one of my skills, and it's something that I'm getting better on. But Josh came over, or more so like this. Josh and I had plans to make this demo. And we were like, all right, we're going to make this demo, and then we'll give them out at shows and things like that. We'll put a couple songs on them.
Was that going to be the Stellar?
That was Stellar, yeah. Yeah. So we were like, we'll just burn Stellar to a few CDs, and we'll put them out at shows and things like that. And that's what Josh and I were going to get together to do. The girl came over, and we talked for a little bit. She gave me the $70, which I was stoked on, being the Jewish person I am. But I was stoked on that, and then she started talking about how one of her like friends died, which I was like, okay, I gotta stick around for this for a little bit. I gotta hear you out on this. Long story short, the talk lasted probably a nice hour and a half to 2 hours past when I was supposed to hang out with Josh. So he shows up at my house in the middle of this conversation, rightfully pissed off. But on the other hand, it's like, why would you drive all the way back to my house? But I don't know. He lived in Gilbert at the time, but he says, hey, you know, he says some crazy shit to me and throws the CDs out, and he's like, here are your CDs, and I'm like, fuck, dude. I was like, dude, this is horrible. And so, I kept talking with the girl, and she left way after Josh left. And then, after that, I was like, wow, that was very weird. And I should say sorry to Josh for leaving him, so long. So, I think I said sorry to him. I'm not completely sure, in all honesty. I went and hung out with my friend Andrew, and I had the $70, and I was still hung up on this chick. I talked with her for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. My friend just totally, I made a fool out of myself in front of my friend and in front of the girl too. And I was like, let's just go, man. And I was all like, what's up? And he's like, let's go to California. And I'm like, what? He's all like, yeah, let's just go to California. We'll go there, and then we'll just hang out for the day. We have a friend, John, up in California at that time. So we'll go hang out with him. I'm like, all right, let's go. I have $70. That's what we'll spend it on. We'll spend it on gas and in and out. Let's do it. So that's it. We just went to California for the day. Somewhere along the line, I guess Josh kind of took it as something like as a blow toward him. Like, hey, I can't handle what you did or any of that stuff.
And I need to interject real quick.
The
story sounds hairy on both your and Josh's parts.
Yeah.
I need to interject now and say both people apologized.
Yes.
Everything is cool. Everything was a total misunderstanding on both sides. Like, both of you were in the wrong. Both of you apologize. Everything is cool.
We're cool, man.
Yeah, I don't want to. I just don't want to. I don't want it to lead down the path of like, and then Josh is fucking overreacting.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
not what happened.
This is
like,
all
everybody
shit.
was cool. Everything's fine.
Yeah, this whole California thing happened. It's such a minuscule thing that it took reminding to get me to actually talk about. But yeah, I mean, that's literally it. We went to California, and then Josh texted me here and there saying, "Hey, man," like he started just saying, things like, why'd you leave the band and things like that. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. This was just a weird turn of events,
Yeah.
It's just these two events that kind of got mixed up at the same time. It was nothing toward Phantom Party. It was,
no, absolutely. And I remember when you came back and everything was fine and everybody kind of talked it over and everything was totally cool.
I think the one thing that might have happened is I think Josh talked to me about, he was like, why are you quitting the band and things like that. And I guess, I don't know, I was tired. That's not an excuse, but he texted me, I guess, one too many times, and it annoyed me. And I was like, hey, if you text me again, I just might quit the band. Something like that. And it was never something that I said, yo, I'd quit the band over a text message or anything like that. But it's just like, I was pissed off, dude.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, I'm bummed
in a
out.
Fucking flurry of different emotions.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, when you have three people in a band, all of which are like emotional, I mean, that's why we're doing it in the first place.
Yeah.
And you have different things mix up and get together. You kind of create this concoction of madness every once in a while, and things like that will kind of get tangled, and you have to spend time untangling these wires and getting them back to where they should be.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, Josh is extremely emotional. You're fucking extremely emotional, too. I mean, I am, too. We all express it in very different ways.
Very different, yeah.
Where Josh, his whenever he gets really emotional, unless he's creating with his emotional turmoil, which is why the album sounds like it does and why our music sounds like it does, as he manages to take that and make it something beautiful. With me, like, I'll just have a crazy anxiety attack. I don't lash out on like people around me.
Yeah.
I just kind of like get really fucking inward, and I'll like just need to take a shower or lay down, or I'll just become a fucking just a mess. But I don't like, it's not an outward thing for me.
Yeah. And then me, I just form a band and I get over it.
Which brings me to, what is the Calm Decomposed?
The Calm Decomposed.
Or what was it? What is it? Is it still open to, what is it?
Well, it's open. We got this interface right here. So I might ask Josh to record shit with
Which reminds me.
What's up?
So right now I'm using the interface that Austin threw a bunch of fucking money down on so that we can make our first album, because our first day making it, the interface that we bought initially with all of the money that we had in the band
blue
fund,
chunks.
Blue chunks. Not because it's a fucked up interface, but because it didn't match with the Mac update that happened the fucking day before.
Yeah, was it the day before?
It was the fucking night before, yeah. So, from what I heard, for storytelling purposes, night before makes it way more dramatic. Anyway, so tell me why the Calm Decomposed started. Is there anything in the future for that? What is it? Tell people what the Calm Decomposed is. Because I still consider it a band.
There's such a huge following for the Calm Decomposed. No, I mean, like when I was in Phantom Party, we were kind of the whole 2000 and when was that? That was 2016.
That was early
2016.
I think you did that in January, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Came
you
out
did
in
that right
February.
after. You did that right after we did Beach Call sessions with Matt.
Yeah.
And we did the Beach Call sessions in
Okay.
December.
Yes. Matt Alderwood, one of my favorite people in the world, Trouble Minds, and also a great engineer. He's a great producer. But there were times, I mean, like, where I was playing drums in Phantom Party, and there were times where I honestly was just like, I got all these songs written. It'd be cool to kind of go and record them without a Rock Band mic in an actual, setting that's different than my room. So I just kind of hit Matt up, and I was like, yo, Matt, I got some extra money laying around. How about I record 5 songs, and we'll just see how it goes? And he's all like, all right. So I went over to his place. I recorded 4 of them because the 5th one I couldn't get down because he was on a time crunch with me. Yeah. And as he should be, he was running a business. But we got 4 of them down, which I was proud of. I didn't think we'd get those 4 down. And it was literally up to the wire. Matt recorded all the instrumentals. I took all the instrumentals home, and I recorded vocals over it on that shitty Rock Band mic. You can hear when the vocals start to cut in because you can hear the... like the
What?
stuff
I
like
didn't
that.
fucking know that, really?
Maybe.
Wait,
But anyway.
I thought the entire thing was recorded at Matt's.
The instrumentals were. And then my time ran out, and I was like, I'm not going to go back
You recorded all the
there.
instruments, right?
I recorded them all myself.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
so you said Matt recorded all the instruments?
Oh,
I thought
no,
you meant
sorry.
like Matt did all the fucking work for you.
Oh, my shit. No, I recorded everything myself. I recorded the instruments at Matt's, and I took it all home, and I did the vocals at my house. Just because I didn't want to go back, and I didn't want to sing in front of his family. He still lives at home with his parents. I didn't want to do that.
I was wondering about that. I was wondering about how, because I know you're self-conscious about your voice, and whenever I listen to the EP, which is really fucking good. Don't Open the Door, right? Is the name of the album? Or don't shut the doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking love it. I love the shit out of that album. I really do.
Thank you.
There's something about the music and that I really enjoyed from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to it, just like, was Austin really like good for him for fucking singing in front of Matt? It turns out
I didn't.
I
mean, and that's not to say I wouldn't have. It's just that my time ran out, and I didn't have that much money to blow on that. So I was like, I got my Rock Band mic. I'm not going to do much with these anyway. I'll probably show them to a friend or two, or maybe a little more, and then just put them up, But that's all I really did with them. It just, it kind of came out around the same time that I was with a girl. It's nothing to do with a girl. It's just, it's different.
Can we plug it and say where you can find it?
No.
Oh, man.
Some other time.
Fuck. All right.
I know. When I get more comfortable with it. When I get more comfortable.
Some time will pass.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I like kind of directed a video for it too.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely did.
Which was fun.
And then Matt directed a video for one of the songs too, and it was dude, it was so fun. At that time, all Phantom Party had was as a video was Derby Days, which was very
and
one
20.
take and 20, but it wasn't
more of a compilation.
More of a compilation, yeah. It wasn't more like a directed, like a full blown music video. This one I actually kind of sat down and said I want this and this and this and this and this
and
to have like scenes.
Cool. The concepts of the title cards and the lyric cards around the house. That was a super cool idea. It was it was so fun. And you're a fucking creative dude.
I try, man. And then I did say to Matt, if we ever played out live, he gets to be the drummer. Because
I would love to.
I want to play guitar and try to do that.
I know, and I was always thinking about how much I miss playing drums.
Yeah.
Because you were like, hey, man, would you want to play bass for me? And I was like, yeah, but I want to fucking play drums if that's cool, as long as I can use your shit.
You're in, dude. After that, I was going to do something else last year with the Calm Decomposed, but then I kind of just set that aside because we started getting really heavy into the album. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to let them overlap. If you notice, I did let the Calm Decomposed thing kind of at a state where Phantom Party wasn't doing that much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've noticed that. I noticed that you get restless whenever we're not building something or playing a tour, which is totally fucking understandable. I'm finally getting comfortable with my voice and figuring out how to sing.
And it's good, people. It's a good voice.
Hey, thanks, man. I'm really I've only showed it to like 3 people so far. I haven't showed it to Josh. I don't know why I'm nervous to.
You got the shakes, man.
I do. I don't know what it is about Josh. Like, I think I look up to him so much as a musician that it would feel like I'd feel really nervous. It's not to say that he's like Josh is so fucking nice and polite to people. He really is. And if I were to bring it to him, even if he didn't like it, he would be really sweet and lie to me and be like, "No, it's really good. It's really good. I like it. It's really good." You know. So it's not that I'm afraid that he would just tell me to stop.
Yeah,
it sucks.
It's just still the
I'm nervous because I've always looked up to him as a musician.
Yeah.
I've always looked up to him as being like, this is the guy. If I'm ever going to be in a band, this is the dude I need to team up with.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Eventually, I guess once I finally do it, because I'm building
100%.
it. I have a name. I'm building it. It's actually going to become a thing. I'm starting to write songs, so I'm really excited for that.
That's it, dude. Being in a band is just like,
you
got to move at a pace that the band is comfortable with.
But
you know
I mean? And you know what though, and you know what the other thing is about being in a band that no one fucking tells you? Strategy.
Yeah,
everything is strategy, and you know this more than I do because you're the one who's doing all the fucking managerial work. Really, I mean, it was me for a long time. It was just me answering all the emails. Yeah. But then you took over and did a way better job, and you started doing all of the fucking all of the press. We're getting tons of fucking interviews now. We're getting tons of cool things that we're doing because you're working your ass off.
You know, that's the thing too. Like, and it is strategy. Something cool because I know a lot of people that listen to you also listen to Phantom Party.
A lot of people don't listen to me.
The 3 people that listen to you. No, just kidding. No, one of the things that is really cool about Phantom Party that I haven't really seen in any other band. I'm sure they might have this stuff, but we all have these little. We aren't just the drummer. We're not just the bassist. You got Josh, the graphic design artist / guitarist / vocalist.
Yeah, exactly. We all have jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing though. His biggest job is writing all the songs.
Pretty much. I mean, he's the main
and then
dude.
We throw our little spices and our stuff into it. And we change it up a little bit. But at the end of the day, I don't need him to do anything else than that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. So it's really cool how he actually does because he does have this specific there's just a weird aesthetic that it kind of surrounds us in some weird way. Like with Stellar, it was even things back to that Stellar EP where you see the ghost riding on the board. It's just things like that where it's just this almost spooky type of aesthetic. And then you have 100 Skeletons where the cover is just a silhouette of the girl out the window. It's just stuff like that it's whoa, that's cool. You know what I mean?
His concept for Stellar was really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I took the picture. But I'm glad that he came up with that idea. And you know what's weird is our ex-guitar player is the person who is in the fucking
the pick,
right? But and you know what though, and you know what the one thing about Phantom Party that I regret, the one truly big regret that I feel like it slipped by us, and we were so jazzed when we were making CDs that we didn't care. I think we should have.
What is it?
We should have used that fucking original image as the physical copy.
Why didn't we?
Because Gabe was on the cover, and we felt weird about even though you can't see him. Yeah, Josh still felt weird because we were going to be actually selling the CDs and stuff like that with his image on it. I really feel like we should have done that. And then there's nothing wrong. The cover that he ended up choosing was fine, but that's the cover everyone remembers and everyone likes that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that thing. You know, it's the thing that
got away from us. I really wish we would have done the other one.
Hey man, next pressing. No, I'm honestly we should. But it's things like that, and then you got Matt, and Matt, you play bass, you do your backup vocals here and there, but you also set up the shows and you do things like that. You get the tickets all set up. A lot of the shows that we put on ourselves, without promoters, is stuff that Matt usually sets up and does all the jazz stuff too. And then there's me that I play the drums and I do I hit the people up for the the websites and things like that. So it's weird it's cool how we all it took a little time, but we soon kind of merged into these different little groups. And that's not to say that we don't intersect time and time.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Well, what we have is assembly line. It's definitely an assembly line.
Really
we all have our own little things that we do, and as long as each of us do our jobs, everything is going to be smooth.
Pretty much.
And that's really nice because that alleviates one person from having to do everything. I would not want Josh to have to do fucking literally everything.
I know.
So I'm glad that we got to. You know what I think is really funny about you and me?
What?
Is that you and me are the people who we're the ones who do because Austin and I both have written short books almost on the band, and like I have this giant thing of like 60 pages worth of journal entries, and that's cut down. Like the 60 pages of whatever that I have on the internet is stuff that I like cut down to size to make it readable. Of just diaries of like real time. This is what's happening. Diaries of first practices. That first practice that you're talking about is in that diary.
I read it. And I remember when you were starting that. It was really cool.
And Austin did the same thing. But what's interesting is that Josh, the person who people actually want to know about, doesn't care to do it at all. He has no interest.
He really, I mean,
I think it's funny. Well, he doesn't need to. All his perspectives are in the songs and whatever.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny how everyone's like, oh, where'd you get all the information from? Like, oh, the drummer and the bass player.
Yeah, right? It's crazy. But, you know, what can you do?
It's fun. I love it. I love being in the band that I'm being in and that I'm in. I'm so lucky to be a part of what we've built together and what we are building together. Because now this is the springboard. Like releasing the first album. Like this is where, like, if we're worth our weight in salt, this is where it's gonna come down. This is when we're gonna fucking get it figured out.
What was the weirdest thing that happened to you since joining Phantom Party? Like, what was different about Phantom Party than Drive Through Thursday? I'll start it. Like, I'll tell you this. When I joined the Semester Review, my old band, when I actually joined that with Josh, one of the things that we had so much of a problem with was getting people to listen to us and getting people to write about us. That was such a problem with us. When I joined Phantom Party, after we put out Stellar, all of a sudden people were actually writing about us without us asking them. Mm-hmm. That was the weirdest thing that happened at the time. What was the weirdest thing that happened to you?
Probably the similar thing that the biggest difference between Drive Through Thursday and so Drive Through Thursday was a pop band that I was. If you've listened to podcasts in the past, you've heard me talk about it. But it was a pop band that I was in when I was 17, and they were all just good kids, but they were just rich as fuck. I mean, they are loaded. And at least compared to where I was coming from, they were. Yeah. Now, I wasn't like coming from the streets, but I definitely wasn't. I didn't have a guest house. So, which is where we practiced. So, great dudes, but I think the hard work was a way different part with us, because with Drive Through Thursday, be it that was short lived. I was not the original bass player for that band, but I played with them for a while. They just somehow got all of this awesome shit kind of just thrown, and they just managed to get lucky.
Wow!
Like I played I played the main stage of the Nile with them. Mm-hmm. I played the Queen Creek Performing Arts Center, which was actually like a quarter filled. Yeah. And fucking we played the Underground too. I feel like we might have played one other show, but we just like. I never had to work hard and got all this payoff, so I just thought that this is what being in a band was. The hustle wasn't there because their parents helped out so much and this, that, and the other thing. But I think the weirdest thing about would be like, I don't know. I guess the weirdest thing would be, I don't know, man. I guess that. I guess the hard work paying off, though, and the hustle paying off is really fucking nice.
It's different, right?
It's what shows you. And the music itself is probably the weirdest thing. I liked surf music growing up, and I always thought that I was the only one. I never thought that I would ever meet anybody else like surf music, because I actually legitimately liked fucking...
That's how I was with Smash Mouth.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think I still am the only one that...
So, fucking... Like, I loved the Ventures. I would collect Ventures records, and I loved the Safaris and Beach Boys and all that stuff, and I legitimately liked it, but I always thought that I was the weirdo. No one else I ever knew liked it. So Josh approached me about playing in Milo Surf way before that, which was like a surf pop band. Yeah. And that never ended up working out, but I couldn't. I guess the thing was, like, in a million fucking years, I would have never guessed that I would have been in a surf-esque band, because I was in maybe punk band, sure, metal band. I was in a metal band when I was in Ohio. I played drums for a metal band. That was fucking awesome. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with those guys, but it's the music itself, I would say, is the weirdest part. I would never expect it to be in like a surf indie punk band.
Really? I don't think I would have expected that either. I mean, like, especially because you and Josh, you listen to surf. You know the Ventures and things like that. I knew the Ventures, but I wasn't into them. There's so many. There's more surf bands that I'm not into as opposed to surf bands that I actually like.
Well, yeah.
So
me
it's
too. I can name like 4.
It's like weird that like I guess that's the thing is that's kind of where the edge kind of came in too. It's like it's not simple shit. Like some of the songs that we're playing are actually like a way like different thing than what I thought it was going to be. I thought that when Josh was making these surf songs, I thought it slowly becomes surfier and surfier. It's actually going the complete opposite direction.
Really? You thought it was going to get surfier and surfier? That's interesting.
Yes. I thought it was going to get surfier and surfier. Because one of the things I kind of thought about Josh at the time, because at the time I'd known the guy for like 4 years, and I knew that any direction I imagined us going, he'd go the opposite. Yeah. So I was like, I think we're going to... What I want to do is surf is great. I kind of want to progress a little bit to a different end of the spectrum. But the way I kind of thought in my head was like, okay, Josh is probably going to go the opposite way due to things that we've done in the past. So it was pretty cool to actually see him actually going the direction that I was kind of imagining. Like, oh, okay, we're going to be playing. Because I guess in hindsight, you can only get so surfy. You know what I mean?
Before you become, exactly.
Before you become
the Apaches.
I was about to say that.
I love the Apaches are fucking amazing. Yeah. But they are as surf as you can goddamn get.
Pretty much.
Like, I mean, I had Eric on the show and we talked about that. They are surfy as shit, but they want to be. They want to be a genre band. But I guess the new music that they're coming out with is going to be a lot different. They're going to do a lot more experimenting.
They're going to do any singing?
Probably not.
That's still cool.
It's cool.
I like that.
But what's really crazy is like the Phantom Party, I can just say right now, is going to be, if we write it out and it stays a thing and we stay together, God fucking willing, and we've never had any problems where we ever thought we would break up. But saying that we stay, because let's be honest, the shelf life of local bands, not good, not long. 2 years really, already, we're fucking farther than a lot of them are. So, at least at our level, like the bigger bands obviously have been together for longer because that's why they're popular. There is not a single big band in the local scene who's new. Think about it. All of the big bands have been around for fucking ever. Playboy Man Baby started releasing music in like 2010.
Yeah,
so
pretty
I
much.
Mean, like, all of those bands have been doing it forever. So longevity really is key in the local scene. But saying we stay together, like. We're going to release some weird fucking shit. I mean, I've already kind of talked about how album 2 is already in the works, and it's all over the fucking place. Like, it's going to be weird as shit. People are going to be really surprised.
It's going to be weird.
Which I'm excited for. I don't think they're going to be turned off because we're playing... Because I know that with the semester review, Josh talked about how... When you guys started releasing and playing songs from Taylortown, everyone was just like, "What the fuck? This is gay."
Nobody knew.
Gay, or someone said something like that. Someone was like, "LOL" or something.
I don't think
like
I ever heard that. It's probably more directed toward Josh. But I can say that everybody stopped bopping their heads. Everybody stopped moshing. They just kind of sat and they were like freaked. Yeah, we only played those Taylortown songs a few times, and even then there was just an instant change in the crowd. We were like, okay, this is way different
because it became way more punk. Screaming and all that kind of stuff. But I don't foresee album 2 having that effect. Because we're in a much more open-minded scene. The pop punk scene is not nearly as open-minded as the indie scene.
Very close.
Super close. So I really think that we'll have, but we haven't even released album 1 yet, so we can't talk shit right now. So, Calm Decomposed, you might come back to later?
I might come back to it.
When you have some downtime. You and me, we'll play a show together with
we'll
our
play a
side
show.
projects, and we'll invite Josh.
After this, after this little break, if we ever take a break from Phantom Party for a bit, I'll get back to it.
Yeah, because that's what always... there is an ebb and flow. Like, for the next few months, upway towards the end of the year, we're going to be fucking crazy busy. Yes. But again, towards the end of the year, just like last year, we'll probably hit another little slowdown, and we'll kind of do our own shit during that time, which is really nice.
It is.
I can't fucking be busy enough. Obviously, that's why I have this.
You got the podcast. You got Phantom Party. You got your jobs too.
Job now, which is lucky.
There you go. See, and then over here, it's like I don't want to be as busy, but even when I get home, like I'd still try to do specific like Phantom Party things and things like that, which is it's crazy, but like at the same time, like we're just kind of doing it. You know what I mean? Like we're just, I don't know. We're hustling as hard as I remember us ever hustling before.
Oh, fuck yeah. This
You
is
know?
the biggest hustle we've ever, because the thing that there was a big change in the band, the way that we did things I'm going to say like towards the end of 2015, well into the beginning of 2016, where I'm just going to say early to mid 2016, we hit a weird spot where we were playing shows, but the thing was we were playing we played almost 50 shows in our first calendar year. Mm-hmm. Which was, or a full like elapsement of a year, which is a fucking lot. I'm not saying that like 50 shows, like it's not like that. We burnt ourselves out. Yeah, I remember hanging out with you outside of Pub Rock, just being like, all the notes were played right. Yeah, everything was fine, but it just doesn't fucking feel great anymore because we were just doing the same shit all the time,
the same songs for 50 shows.
And the other big change the other big thing that was different, was changing, was when we first got started, we never set up our own show, and we never procured a show. Yeah, we were only offered shows, and we only took the shows that we were offered. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming a lot of that was like hangover from semester review and knowing people, but also like getting our name out there when we first got started. Yeah, but we never worked hard for that. We never did. It was just kind of given to us, and then it fell off in 2016. Really, and we had to figure out, like, okay, well, now we have to actually start doing this for ourselves. I know. Like, all the write-ups that we got were surprises. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I like that, and you know what? And it's even things like, as far as back when we first started demoing, that I was like, all right, I want to at least work a little harder at this. And then Matt hopped on board because Matt started getting us all these. Matt started like, he set up the release show. He got all the bands to play it and things like that. He even like a month before, he already has our set list all planned out. Like, this guy is
Which
on
isn't
it.
much work because we're just playing the album and then.
Hey man, I just don't get why you don't want to play Skin. All right.
I know Skin's not in the set list.
Spoiler
alert! That's the only song that we've ever released. Okay, so when the album comes out, we're gonna be releasing 13 songs for the album and a bonus track. Yeah, 12 and a bonus track.
14 in total. 13 and a bonus track.
And then the Stellar EP of 5 songs. Yeah. Of all of that music, there's only one song we're not going to play live. Yep. And that's Skin. That's Skin. No one fucking cares about that song. No one cares. I don't know what it is. It's always everyone's least favorite. It was my favorite going into the band.
I remember that. I remember it being your favorite.
I loved that because it was the most surfy, I think. But
it was always my least
even that
favorite.
Fucking review that we got in the very beginning.
First, Here and Allison Now
Bills,
media.
who's awesome, by the way. I'm friends with Allison Bills on social media. We've talked on Snapchat before. She's super fucking cool. I don't know how she manages to go to every single show that's ever put on in Phoenix ever. I know. But she manages to.
Yeah, she's crazy.
But even in her review, which was the first review we ever got, it was for Here and Now Media, right? Yeah. It was the first review we ever got. She still couldn't refrain from being like, I don't like Skin.
I know. And it's like, it's just so weird, though. You know, you ever think of that? Like, you think Skin is in Matt's mind at the time, Skin is my favorite song. But then you actually put it out to the people and you realize not many people like that song. And then it's like,
go ahead.
And then it's like songs that I really dislike, like Sunflower Eyes.
Same here. We all universally hated Sunflower Eyes.
And then the people that listen to us are like, I like Sunflower Eyes. And we're like, oh, okay, that's weird. You know, that's weird how it's like that, you know? And who knows, you know, we put out a song called Tunnel of Love that we can all agree on that song. Like, we can all say, hey, this is a song that we really like. It'll probably be in like a lot of our sets going forward. But who knows? You know what I mean? There might be people that say, I hate this song. Play this song instead. It's just so weird. You know what I mean?
Never fucking know. No, and no one will ever be happy. Yeah. No one will ever be. Everyone will always wish that you did something this way or that way.
There's going to be that one guy that doesn't go because we don't play Skin.
The only thing about Skin that like people like is when Josh screams. Yeah. Josh, during the recording, if people have only heard the EP, they only know that Josh just sings one part in the bridge quieter. Uh-huh. But live, he just screams it at the audience or screams it at the floor. Yeah. Including one time at a coffee shop, which is really awkward.
Oh, yeah.
But
I didn't play that.
You were working.
It,
that's
right?
why you, yeah. Mm-hmm. So we did that, and we were playing it in a coffee shop in Gilbert to a bunch of like uppity like Mormons and nice rich people. Yeah. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we were playing Skin, and halfway through that point comes, and I look over at Josh, and I'm just thinking, please, for the love of all that is good and holy, do not scream. Oh, there he goes.
And he did it. And that's the show I wish I was at.
Everyone woke the fuck up and was looking around. I don't know if it was good or bad.
Yeah.
But everyone was paying attention.
Wake them up, dude.
And I don't
you
know.
gotta
like,
show them the Jesus.
And after the show, Josh was like, yeah, we got more applause for that one. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know if that was like a good thing or not. Like, we'll see. But I'm happy that he did because A, we got a story out of it. Yeah. B, that dude just fucking just kills it. Like, Josh will just fucking kill it every single night. Josh goes so fucking hard all the time, and I absolutely adore him for it.
It is. It's crazy. It's just a crazy band.
Crazy band. Is there anything else that you want to say? I think we can wrap it up right there. I think that's a pretty fucking good point.
I'm good.
I mean, I can talk to you forever. When we were hanging out, I could talk to you for fucking ever.
I got time.
We're
only an hour and 25 minutes in. What do you want to talk about?
You were over for fucking like 3 hours before we even did this shit.
Do you want to talk about space?
Yes.
What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about space?
What's your favorite planet?
What's my favorite planet? Dude, the third grader in me who wants to say Uranus.
I can tell you this. I really liked Jupiter for a nice amount of time. But then I kind of switched over to Neptune. That's all I got to say. If any fangirls out there want to know Austin Cooper's favorite planet, it's Neptune.
Why? What made you want to switch planets?
You ever see the color of that thing?
Okay, no, I'm ending it here. This is over. Thank you so much for listening. Have a phenomenal... whatever it is. What is it? Is it day, morning, night?
Have a phenomenal insert
when do
time
most people
here.
Listen to this? Is it awkward yet?